off, it's an exciting time for everybody to be getting together. I know there's a fireside chat tomorrow morning. So what is that all going to be about?
Look, you have the four largest cities in the United States are run by African American mayors. And so Mayor Adams out of New York will be flying in a little bit later on this evening. Karen Bass, Mayor of LA, flying in route right now. Mayor Brandon Johnson, the new kid on the block. Chicago, and then of course yours truly representing the city here. So all four, this will be the first time that all four of us will be on the same stage at the same time.
And that's so great because it really is such a collaborative effort, especially with issues in all cities, like if we're dealing with homelessness. I know that's something that you all are talking about. So what benefit do you have with being with mayors of cities that are kind of dealing with the same thing?
Well, look, I mean, it's an opportunity for us to connect and share ideas. Major cities all over the country are experiencing the same challenges, whether it's, homelessness, education, public safety, how we address climate change. But the exciting part about this moment is not that it's just historic, but you have some of the most brilliant minds of elected leaders, civic leaders, organizers, coming together to address the critical issues of our time. So looking forward to learning from all of my elders.
You called you the new kid on the block, so I get it. When it comes to homelessness specifically, what are you hoping to learn or gather moving forward?
It's kind of interesting. Tomorrow after the panel discussion, both Mayor Bass of LA and Mayor Johnson are going to sit down, and we're going to talk about how the city of Houston is addressing homelessness in our city. So we're going to travel over to the Navigation Center that we have open, and then we're going to come back to City Hall and sit down and just talk about specifically how the city of Houston has reduced homelessness since 2012 by 63%. And the steps that we are taking to get people to transition people off the streets into permanent supportive housing. So we're all dealing with it. I don't care where you are in the United States. I don't care how big your city may be, how small. The issue of homelessness is something that's discussed by mayors all the time.
Well, it's getting harder, as you know, for working people to survive and thrive. And what we've seen in Chicago, and quite frankly, what we've seen all over the country, the number of students, young people that are unhoused as a consequence of their parents not having the type of economic stability that they need. So it's a holistic approach that we have to take, including providing mental health services and healthcare as a whole to the families that need these type of supports and investments. And what Houston has done and what our counterpart in Los Angeles is doing, and same thing with what our Mayor Adams is doing in New York, learning from one another to address this critical issue at this time. It's a difficult moment, but again, it's also very exciting to know that our collective struggle can lead to the type of transformation that will leave a generational impact on our cities.
And you were talking about, something that everyone's dealing with. One of the big things is also crime, shootings. I mean, we have carjackings that just happened overnight, turned into a shooting here in Houston area. So when it comes to gun violence moving forward, what are you hoping to achieve by coming here?
Well, I would tell you one thing is that there are way, 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 way too many guns on our streets. I don't care which city you're in. There are more guns than there are people. And so it's calls for multiple strategies to address it. I look at the numbers every day. What I do know is that in all of our respective cities, when it comes to violent crime in comparison, for example, to last year, the numbers are down. When it comes to homicide, the numbers are down in all of the cities with the mayors that will be here tomorrow. Now, if there's one, it's one too many, okay? And it requires multiple strategies. That's why for the city of Houston, we put forth a holistic approach under One Safe Houston. It calls for community participation. There calls for technology, reentry programs, our youth initiative. That's something we put a big premium on when we're focusing on that age group, 16 through 24. More police, boots on the ground. All of those things must take place in order to reduce it. But there are way, 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 way too many guns on our streets.
Well, look, it is a layered approach, right? Because, we're asking police officers to respond to every emergency. And we know that, like in Los Angeles, that there is a real concerted effort to provide mental health providers to show up to mental health crises. We're doing the same thing in the city of Chicago, moving forward on a policy called treatment, not trauma, to make sure that we are treating the conditions that are causing, the emotional and mental breakdown. So the youth employment, supporting our young people to make sure that they see and know their purpose and know that their leaders love them. And again, people who are available to create economic opportunities. So it's a multi-layered approach. We call it the full force of government in Chicago, that not one person can be responsible solely for transforming communities. And that also applies to making sure that our communities are safe. So it's top of mind, much like Mayor Turner. And I live in a neighborhood in the city of Chicago. We're on the west side, one of the more challenging communities, one of the more violent neighborhoods. Mayor Turner expressed to me that he still is in the neighborhood that he's been in.
Fofo.
Exactly, right? So we both share that in common. Like we live in the communities that need that investment. So we see it every day, and we're committed to making sure that we're providing the support that's needed to create better, safer, stronger cities.
And I will tell you, public safety is a high number one priority. Okay, I don't care where you are. People want to feel safe, and it's not just about the numbers, because we can spout the numbers all day long. But if people don't feel safe, you have to address that, and you have to be very laser focused on it. But it does require, and I like the word that you use, Mayor. It does require a very layered approach, and it's everyone's responsibility, and not just one single group or one person.